When you think about a GoPro camera, chances are you're not thinking about using it in the classroom or in school. You think about it as being an action camera. But in this video, I'm going to discuss some reasons why I think the new GoPro 9 or 10 might just be the perfect camera for your classroom adventures. They're very durable. Maybe don't throw them around like I just did, but you can see that it had no effect on the ability of this camera to keep on functioning. They're also waterproof, which means you can put them underwater. This is great, especially if you live near an ocean, the river, or a pond. Students can explore what's underwater without having to don any scuba gear and without having to worry about the camera getting wrecked when you submerge it. The cameras have built-in time-lapse photography, so you can set it up, run it overnight, capture a sunrise or a sunset, and do all sorts of interesting things with time-lapse photography. This is something that can really excite students as they can see the world changing over time. It's a special guest appearance by Chester and Charlie. My guinea pigs really enjoy the camera being in their cage. They don't even notice it. The cameras are very small. This allows you to put them in unique locations where you can capture all sorts of wildlife and fun. GoPro cameras are easy to use. A traditional camera does give me a lot of flexibility around lenses, ISO, aperture, and timing, but using the GoPro app, I can go in and adjust many settings on the GoPro 10 where I can do things like set up time lapse, set up the camera to start taking photos at a certain time during the day, all sorts of different settings in terms of the lenses and how the camera behaves. This app really makes the GoPro super easy to use and very functional. It's one of the things I like best about the GoPro because it really eliminates that barrier to entry where I don't have to learn a lot of complex camera things. I can start doing some pretty creative things right away just using the app. Now there are a few accessories that I do like to use with the GoPro. One of the most important accessories for me is a tripod connector. This one happens to be magnetic and it's a twist-in tripod extension. So I'm able to just connect up to a tripod. In this case here I have a little Joby tripod so I can connect up the GoPro, and this gives me a lot of possibilities. Now I'll link to everything down below so you can check them out for yourself. But attaching to a tripod, and it doesn't have to be quite this fancy of a tripod, but attaching to a tripod lets me put the GoPro where I want it to be. Extending that functionality just a little bit more, I can also get something like the GoPro 3-way stick. Now this particular stick here, again, I've attached the magnetic tripod extension or tripod connector on there, tighten everything up. I can do selfie. And then also what's quite nice with this is that the bottom of this one, this is GoPro official product, you can go in here and you can turn this into a GoPro tripod as well. So if you don't have the Joby one, if you just want to use this one, you now have a tripod. It's not going to be as stable as the Joby, and it's going to be a little bit more bouncy, so you can't attach it, so you don't have the ability to bend this around tree trunks and such, but that is an alternative to the tripod as well. The other accessory that I like to use is a little Smallrig. You can attach the tripod extender on there, and then this gives you the ability, it comes in various sizes, to articulate where you want the GoPro, combined with a little clamp on here, and I can clamp that onto a lot of different things and really have a stable position for the GoPro in some unique places. So that's a handy one as well. Of course, with all this filming that you're going to be doing, you're going to want to get extra batteries. I like the GoPro batteries myself, so I only get the branded batteries, and then have a charger. So typically speaking, you're not going to get a ton of footage out of this, especially if you're shooting at high resolution. You're only going to get a limited amount of time, 20-30 minutes at the most. Depends again, if you're just taking photos, you can go longer. If you're taking high resolution, you go shorter. But extra batteries are always very useful. And what I'll do is I'll actually take this external battery, and you can get this little replacement door that has a USB hole in the door. Now this will render the GoPro so it's not waterproof. So when you put on this other door, you will be able to connect up USB from an external power source. So that's quite handy. And now what I can do is I've got this battery bank powering the GoPro here. I can then of course connect it up to a tripod, and now I've got you know, a very long period of time that I can sit here and film because I'm not relying on battery power. Well, I am. I've got this external battery, but this external battery is going to last for hours, and that's really good for things like time-lapse photography or anything where I want to power it on and say, you know, videotape an assembly or videotape an event that's going to be a longer period of time. This gives me that extended external power. You could also plug it into the wall if you're indoors, of course. So that's a handy thing. And I do want to emphasize, though, that that does render the camera itself non-waterproof. So you're not going to be able to use that underwater, but you can just replace that door. And then when you put the door on there that comes with the GoPro, then that will make the camera once again waterproof to a certain depth. What if you want to go deeper? So if you want to go deeper, for example, if you want to go into the ocean a little bit, you have to be cautious of things like, you know, when does the light give out? You might have to attach a waterproof, you know, flashlight or something, but you can put it in this waterproof case. So this is really a scuba case for the GoPro. You sometimes see these on the internet. People use these, and they used to have to use these with older versions of the GoPro that weren't waterproof. But the nice thing about this is when you put the GoPro in it, I've got the tripod extender on there, but when you put the GoPro on it, even though you're going upside down, the GoPro will adjust the orientation of the video. So if you lower this into the water, it will actually right size the orientation of the camera so that you're getting good footage. One of the things I did at the beginning of the video is I threw the camera onto the ground. And you might say, oh, that couldn't break the camera. You could theoretically scratch this cover for the lens, but the lens is behind a cover. This also gives me another set of accessories that's quite handy, and that is I can go into this camera here and I can put polarization filters on here. So you can get little polarization filters on here, and that can be attached to the GoPro as well. That's a handy thing to have. And if you're in a sunny environment, that can be useful. But of course, you can buy clear replacements as well, which is very handy if for some reason you are rough on the GoPro and you do get a scratch on the cover, it's not scratching the lens. I really like that about the GoPro. That's handy too. So I never really worry about, you know, scratching or breaking the GoPro because it's a durable camera. Speaking of fun with the camera, you can also get things like chest straps. You can get this little headband that you can put on, and you attach the GoPro right on there. You might get some strange looks if you're walking through a park and such, but whatever you see, the GoPro will then see, and that can be quite fun as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like technology and learning, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button. Share with colleagues that might benefit from this. A little bit of an unusual video using a GoPro in the class, but I hope you enjoyed it.